What is the worst bone in the body to break? I would say femur. More because it can be incredibly uncomfortable. The pain really just depends on how it happens, but it can be pretty damn bad. But if you're lucky, it's just really uncomfortable. Usually the knee trauma that comes with it is the worst part recovery-wise, and chances are you won't walk 100 normal ever again. But there's a recovery. Breaking something like a vertebrae, you might not get so lucky. You okay to spring to mind? One of the tiny bones in your ear. It's possible to break it by rubbing your ear too hard, and ever after there will be noise that you cannot escape. The one that freaks me out the most is that you can break the bone under your nose above your top front teeth. So it is like you literally have a mobile upper jaw. This one gives me the collywobbles. Most painful I would have to put at either ribs, sternum, or femur. Most debilitating would be breaks at major joints, like knees, elbows, or the shoulder. After you break it once, they never seem to heal back right. Most life-threatening are the spine and skull. Regardless of how minor of a fracture it is, these always need checked out. The femur completely has led to cases of people developing a heart attack or stroke because of how breaking the bone can harm major blood vessels in the thighs and develop blood clots that can travel the body. Sphenoid. It's in the middle of your skull and it holds up your pituitary gland as well as helping to form your eye socket. If that gets broken, you're fucked. You may be paralyzed from a vertebral fracture. A sphenoid fracture will kill you. Breaking vertebrae are life-threatening since you could cut your spinal cord in half and die instantly. People saying femur. Yes, it hurts and it's the biggest bone, but you can recover from it easily. Average life expectancy after breaking femur hip is something like 2 years. This is of course due to mostly old people break their femur, but it still takes a very high toll on the body. Fell off my bike and thought I broke a couple ribs. Sure felt like it. Apparently, I just cracked them real good. I couldn't imagine the pain of getting a full rib cage broken. The spine is a critical bone to break. Injuries here can lead to paralysis or other permanent disabilities depending on the location and severity of the fracture. The femur is arguably the worst bone to break due to its strength and the amount of force required to fracture it, leading to severe pain and a lengthy recovery. The femur can kill you if it damages your femoral artery, and the skull is pretty bad, but I'd say breaking your spine, particularly the neck, would be the worst. I think one that's up there, but not the worst, is the xiphoid process of the sternum. If broken, it can cause damage to vital organs, such as a lung puncture. Fracturing the wrist can involve complex breaks in the small bones that form the joint, often necessitating surgery to ensure proper healing and function. Question is vague. Worst as in survival, recovering from pain, limiting quality of life, survival back, pain pelvis, quality of life funny bone. Breaking the bones in the hand can severely affect your ability to grip and perform daily tasks, often requiring surgery to properly realign the bones. A broken nose, although common, can be very painful, lead to breathing difficulties, and require repositioning if the break affects the nasal passage. Breaking the humerus can severely restrict arm movement and, depending on the injury's complexity, can affect nerves, leading to further complications. The scaphoid bone in the wrist is particularly troublesome due to its poor blood supply, which can lead to a non-union where the bone fails to heal. The clavicle collarbone is not only extremely painful when broken, but also limits the use of the arm and shoulder, affecting daily activities. Fracturing your coccyx tailbone is not only extremely painful, but also makes sitting and many everyday activities painful for weeks or months. The tibia, being a major weight-bearing bone, when broken, significantly impacts mobility and involves a complex, often slow, recovery process. Breaking the hyoid bone in the neck, a rare occurrence, can affect breathing and swallowing and is typically associated with traumatic events. I know the importance of spinal cord, but I want to say rib cages. It's gonna be fun if it punctures your lungs, fucking pain at every breath. Fractures of the acetabulum part of the hip socket severely impair mobility and usually require surgical intervention to restore function. To heal bone calcaneus is painful to break and can alter the way you walk permanently, potentially leading to further joint issues. Breaking the orbital bone around your eye can be particularly severe, risking vision damage and often requiring surgical intervention. Breaking the pelvis can be devastating, affecting mobility and possibly damaging internal organs given its structural importance. Breaking the jawbone can lead to difficulties in eating and speaking, requiring surgery and wiring the jaw shut during recovery. Breaking the sesame bones in the foot can be painful and problematic, as these bones aid in the mechanics of the big toe. A broken lacrimal bone can jeopardize the tear ducts and impact eye health, potentially requiring reconstructive surgery. The mandible, when fractured, not only requires a liquid diet but also dramatically alters how you speak and chew. Trombone. Having one of those in your body is bad, but breaking a trombone in your body is definitely the worst. I broke some ribs once. If by worst you mean most painful, then ribs are definitely in the running. A hip fracture, common in the elderly, often require surgery and is associated with a lengthy period. A broken rib can be excruciating and risky, as it may puncture lungs or other vital organs. A broken sacrum can be excruciating, complicating basic functions like walking and sitting. Anything that would damage nerves, causing lifelong pain no matter how well the bone heals. Thinks it's the skull followed by the pelvis and sternum, but the thigh bone is pretty bad. Patella. Beaking this bone doesn't kill you, but goddamn that's painful. DATS have a bone inside their penis, so probably that one.